Английский язык, сервис и туризм. Страница 295. English cuisine, apple pie recipe. Traditionally, apple pie is served warm or cold with a thick wedge of aged cheddar cheese. Ingredients: 8 large tart green apples, 40 grams of butter, 1/2 cup of castor sugar, сахарная пудра, 1 cup of water, teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 4 whole cloves or a pinch of ground cloves, гвоздика, 2 large strips of the rind of 1/2 a lemon, 1 teaspoon of corn flour, 4 cups of flour, a good pinch of salt, 250 grams of butter, 1/2 cup of castor sugar, 2 eggs, 2 to 4 tablespoons of milk, apple filling. Peel the apples and cut each apple into quarters. Remove the core and dice each quarter. In a large saucepan, melt the butter over a medium-low heat. Add the apple, sugar, water, a lemon rind, cinnamon, and cloves and combine. Cover and sweat for 5 to 10 minutes or until the apple is just tender but still retains its shape. Remove from the heat. Discard the lemon rind, cinnamon stick, and cloves. Drain most of the excess liquid off and mix in the corn flour. Set aside to cool. Christmas pudding recipe. Ingredients: 115 grams of flour, 1 heaped teaspoon of baking powder, 175 grams of breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon of mixed spice. Страница 296. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, корица, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 250 grams of very cold grated butter or suet, почечное или внутреннее сало, 175 grams of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 175 grams of sultanas, kishmish, 175 grams of raisins, 175 grams of currants, 85 grams of almonds, миндаль, 175 grams of mixed peel, 2 eggs, 150 millimeters of milk, approximately, grated rind zest of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon of brandy. Thoroughly grease a large stainless steel bowl or large pudding basin. Weigh the dried fruit into a second large bowl. In another bowl, toss the cold grated butter or suet through the flour to keep the butter separated. Now add the butter and flour mixture, breadcrumbs, baking powder, brown sugar, and spices to the previously weighed fruit. Beat the eggs and milk together and pour them to the dry fruit ingredients and pour in the brandy. Mix thoroughly and pour into the well-greased bowl. Stretch a layer of cooking paper and tin foil over the rim of the bowl and tie securely. Place an old soup or dessert bowl upside down in your large saucepan. Place the pudding on top and 3/4 fill with boiling water. Cover the saucepan, steam or simmer for 5 to 6 hours, checking regularly to make sure the saucepan has not boiled dry. Steam for 2 hours on Christmas Day to reheat. More brandy may be added before serving with brandy butter or brandy sauce and whipped cream. May also be flamed with more brandy and a match. Страница 297. Japanese cuisine sushi recipe. There are many different types of sushi, the most well-known in the Western world being nori maki or makizushi. Makizushi combines vine-geared rice, sumeshi, and fillings rolled up in a sheet of nori, dried liver, seaweed, сушеная красная водоросль, using a makishu or a sushi mat. Ingredients: 350 grams of white short grain rice, 450 milliliters of cold water, 50 milliliters of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 pack of nori sheets, dried liver seaweed, sumeshi vine-geared rice. Wash the rice in a large bowl until the water is mostly clear. Transfer the rice to a large saucepan and cover with 450 milliliters of cold water. Bring to the boil, cover, and simmer for 15-20 minutes until the rice has soaked up all the water. Try not to check the rice too often by lifting the lid and never stir the rice. When all the water has been absorbed, remove the saucepan from the heat and leave covered for a further 2 to 15 minutes. Meanwhile, measure the vinegar, sugar, and salt into a small bowl and stir until the sugar and salt are nearly dissolved. Pour the vinegar mixture over the rice and fold in using a wooden spatula or Japanese rice paddle. Set aside to cool. Suggested fillings: cucumber strips, raw tuna or other fresh sliced smoked salmon, avocado slices, carrot strips, fish celery strips, small slices of marinated rare beef, mushroom strips. When rolling the sushi, it is wise to have a bowl of warm water handy to wash any sticky rice off your hands. Place a sheet of nori onto a sushi mat. Makisu, or a piece of plastic wrap larger than the nori sheet. Spread an even layer of prepared rice on top of the nori, leaving at least 1 inch 3 centimeters strip clear at the top edge. Place your chosen fillings in the middle of the rice. Try to choose fillings that are color contrasting for visual effect. Brush a little water on the edge of the nori to help the edge stick. Using the mat, fold the nori over in a single motion so that the bottom edge meets the nori at the top edge of the rice layer. Now compress the rice and filling by putting your fingers in on the top edge of the mat. Make a tight cylinder. Fold the clear strip of dampened nori over to seal the cylinder. Cut into short lengths. To serve, use 2 small dipping bowls, one with a good quality soy sauce and one with wasabi paste, Japanese horseradish. Wasabi paste is available in powdered or tube form. Caution: wasabi is very spicy hot. Teriyaki chicken recipe. Ingredients: 8 pieces of chicken, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sweet chili, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of minced ginger. Peel the garlic and crush into a small bowl or jug. Add the minced ginger, brown sugar, sweet chili, and soy sauce. Stir to combine and pour over the chicken pieces. Marinate for 15 to 20 minutes. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas mark form. Place the chicken pieces in an oven bag or a baker's dish, or alternatively arrange the marinated chicken pieces on a greased roasting pan or baking dish. Bake for 45 minutes to 1 hour or until the chicken is tender and cooked through. Serve with rice and fresh stir-fried vegetables. Страница 299. Chinese cuisine. Cantonese lemon chicken recipe. Ingredients: 500 grams skinless, boneless chicken breasts, 1 egg yolk beaten, 1 tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of sherry, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 3 teaspoons of corn flour, an extra 1/2 cup of corn flour, 2 1/2 tablespoons of plain flour, oil for deep frying, 1/3 cup freshly squeezed lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of sherry, 2 teaspoons of corn flour, 1 tablespoon of water, 4 very finely sliced spring onions, 1 lemon sliced for garnish. Serves 4 to 6. Cut the chicken into strips about 1 centimeter wide and set aside. Combine the egg, water, soy sauce, sherry, and corn flour in a small bowl and mix until smooth. Pour the egg mixture over the chicken strips, mixing well, and set aside for 10 minutes. Sift the extra corn flour and plain flour together onto a plate. Roll each piece of chicken in the flour mixture, coating each piece evenly and shaking off any excess. Place the chicken in a single layer on a cooking paper-lined plate ready to be deep fried. Heat the oil for deep frying in a wok or large pan. Test the oil is hot enough by dropping in a cube of bread. It should be brown in 30 seconds. Carefully lower a few pieces of chicken into the oil and cook until golden brown. Remove the chicken with a slotted spoon and drain on paper towels. Continue cooking the remaining chicken in small batches. This can be done ahead of time if required and stored in the refrigerator until needed. Страница 300. Lemon sauce. Combine the lemon juice, water, sugar, and sherry in a small pan. Stir until the sugar dissolves and bring to the boil over a medium heat. Combine the corn flour with a tablespoon of water in a small cup. Add to the lemon juice mixture, stirring constantly until the sauce boils and thickens. Set the sauce aside just before serving. Reheat the oil in a wok until very hot. Add all the chicken pieces and fry for 2 minutes until very crisp and golden brown. Remove the chicken with a slotted spoon and drain well on paper towels. Pile the chicken onto a serving plate. Drizzle over the sauce and sprinkle with the sliced spring onions. Garnish with sliced lemon and serve immediately with freshly steamed rice.